everybody, what's going on? The deck that I'm using is the Wild Unknown. The first card that we have out is Queen of Wands. Okay, we have Queen of Wands, we have Nine of Pentacles, we have Nine of Swords. So we have 99 here. All right, I'm seeing a theme already. Let me say this again. We have Queen of Wands, we have Nine of Wands, we have Nine of Swords. On the bottom of the deck, we have Four of Cups. What I'm getting with this is that when we have Queen of Wands and we have Nine of Pentacles, this is an energy where we are encouraged to, in some way, to be trusting ourselves, to be believing in ourselves, to make that move that we want to be making, to allow our moves to be ones that we feel inspired by. Having Nine of Swords can be being in a position where you do have an opportunity to express yourself or to do something. Queen of Wands and Nine of Pentacles, what they have in common is these are energies where independence is required. You doing something yourself can be required. Having that Nine of Swords there can be all of the feelings and the thoughts that come up when you're put in a position to do exactly that. And so there can be something going on where it really requires you to maybe make a bold move here, make a brave move here, or to do something where you have to be the one backing yourself. But then when you have all this stuff going on in your head and you're like, this could go wrong or that could happen, or what if this doesn't work out, or what if I'm going to be trying like for no good reason, that's where it feels like why we have that Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck, because you can be having a situation where you could potentially be stepping up or stepping out in some type of way to be showing up. It feels like you would kind of be alone in doing this, or you would independently be doing this, where I'm not seeing like a bunch of energies all around you. This is more so with Queen of Wands and Nine of Pentacles, like you doing something yourself, where you would be backing yourself, where you would be supporting yourself, where you would be figuring things out. And so there, it would just be like your responsibility there. It's not like you can look around and like blame somebody next to you. This is more so like taking responsibility for your own energy. And if you were to do this, you never know what could be happening here. So having that can be like kind of a scary thought here. When we have that Nine of Swords, it can be all the stuff that you have going on in your head where you're like trying to weigh, is this really a good idea? Do I really want to be doing this? Is this a smart move for me to be making? Meanwhile, it feels like all of this can be coming from a place of anxiety. It can be coming from a place of fear. It can be coming from a place that challenges your connection with yourself, your self-belief. And then having that Four of Cups there feels like being exhausted, having to go through this mental process at this time. The thing is that when I see Queen of Wands and I see Nine of Pentacles, you are coming out in an energy that shows you as being qualified, as being capable. And so this is something that you're encouraged to be doing. And part of this process is going to be you working with yourself on a mental level here. But it can be kind of exhausting working with this part of you. Queen of Wands will be you honoring yourself in a way that feels truly authentic to you, truly authentic to your self-expression, honoring that. But there can be something that this brings a feeling of overwhelm or a feeling of stress if really you were to step into these shoes. At the same time, you could feel like this would be dishonorable if it's not something that you're going to honor. You could be looking at things and be like, I feel like I'm not being true to myself here if I don't do something about this. And I feel too like having those wands there, this can be action that's required on your end too, for you to recognize the way that you do want to respond to what's going on here and take action and do that. I feel with the Ten of Wands connected with the Nine of Pentacles, that this is something that you can feel stressful, that you would be the one supporting yourself through this. Like something about that specifically, where it really can bring up this feeling of like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this myself. And that's not to say that that actually is the case, that you can. I'm seeing actually the opposite of this here, but it gives you a chance to check in with those beliefs that you have connected with yourself and connected with what you're actually capable of. Am I really undermining myself here? Am I believing something that's not true, that keeps me in a space that maybe feels comfortable, but I'm not really like honoring what I feel is the right move for me to be making here? And this can be like cowering away from working with yourself on a mental level, that if you were to work with this, you'd actually be taking action here and doing something. So you can be figuring out what the holdup is, what would be keeping you here. I feel as well like you can know that this is going to be a lot for you to go in this direction. Is that something that you want to be stopped by though? And you get to decide. I feel more than anything the weight of like what's going to happen and where things are going to go, that's actually it. Because I'm not really seeing anything be like, if you were to do this, you know, like imminently something is going to be happening. This feels more so like, well, this could happen or that could happen. And then I start getting stressed out feeling about that. But I'm not actually seeing that be a sure thing, that those things would even be happening in the first place. But that can also be part of the story that you're telling yourself here. So how do you work with that? Because it feels like that's also what the energy is requiring of you right now. I feel like stuff that you've been doing has actually been adding up to this. And you can be at a point where it feels like things are starting to weigh more heavily on you. But this is actually a continuation of a process is what I'm seeing. Because I see a lot of efforts that you've made to get yourself into a place that you want to be in, whether that be like within your life, it can be within yourself, how you feel about yourself too, what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're not doing, what you're participating in. Like this feels like your own personal investment. And part of it is an investment that you're making in yourself. Some of you too, I'm seeing King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. There can be something about tending to things regularly, committing to your process here. I feel that more than anything with this, just intuitively. I actually feel like there's some type of game plan. You just need to follow suit here of what you know to be right, regardless of what's going on in your head that would possibly intimidate you out of doing this. I feel like at this point, if you're going to keep up with this, it can be a more challenging section of this manifestation. Because you can say too, I feel this feeling of, if I continue putting energy into this, or if I like really continue with this like plan that I have, or with this idea that I have, or with this intention that I have, I don't know what's going to be happening. And there can also be this thing too where you're like, well, what's going to happen to what I've been investing in as well? I'm seeing something like that going on here too. And I don't know if that's something separate. I don't know if it's all the same thing. But I'm seeing something go on here where you're like, well, what's going to happen with this? And the Seven of Pentacles can be like stuff that you currently have going on within your garden. And you can say like, if I'm doing this, like what's going to happen to that then? Because you don't really know what's going to be at the end of that story. It can be something that's on your mind here. But when we have Nine of Swords, it speaks about something becoming ungrounded. And then you can feel like this is, instead of you being able to use your fuel in a way that would be necessary or in a way that would even be effective here, it feels like if you get on a certain train of thought, it feels like it uses up all your fuel immediately, and then you can feel exhausted and you can feel like there's no way for me to get through this. So it feels actually like there's something here about having to work with the channels that you're tuned to and that if you get on the right channel, it's going to allow you to use your energy effectively. If you're getting onto a different channel, it feels like getting into a vehicle that has it has like a hole in the fuel tank and then just pours out. And you can be like, I don't have the energy to be doing this, but I'm seeing standardly, because I feel like the Nine of Swords is what pokes holes in the fuel tank. And so then it's just bleeding out there. And then of course you're not going to have any fuel left. However, if you're able to work with this part of yourself here, it feels like it's going to help you sustain your energy, and that you're going to be able to do this process. But it feels like more a mental game than anything, because I'm not even seeing it be, I don't think that the circumstances are actually that difficult. I think that it's like the way that this is being perceived. That's what you have to work with here. Because it's not that you're not capable. We have you coming out as Queen of Wands. It's not that you don't know what you're doing. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. Like those things, it shows that there's merit behind this. It's just how you're seeing it, how you're thinking about it with the Nine of Swords. And then that stressing you out. And then that having you think like, I don't have the energy for this, or I don't have the means for this, or I'm not capable, or this is just too much, I can't take that on. Because I also feel too like you have stuff here that matters to you. You have stuff that you care about. With the Queen of Wands, we see the Queen of Wands protecting something precious to them. And so this can be like, do I really want to enter into the forest here when I can't clearly see my way out and see my way through there, not realizing that I feel in a way like, so Queen of Pentacles is protecting something important to them. There's like this, I want to protect the nest here. Not realizing that with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like this is already protected. Like you don't need to be there to be doing that. You're being called into the forest to go on this mission here, knowing that everything is going to be safe and sound, which feels like I'm seeing Nine of Pentacles as being like all of the things that you need. It's all there. There's nothing that, and it's all protected as well. There's nothing there that you're not going to have that you need. And so this feels like if you're in this spot with Queen of Wands where you're like, I have to stay here and guard this. Meanwhile, it's like protected whether you're there or not. So that's why I'm saying like, I don't really think that it's the circumstances. It feels like everything's actually fine in the circumstances. It's just your own way of seeing things here that makes this either a doable situation or not. Because I feel like you have to, in order for you to keep watering the garden right now, you have to sort of venture out, and you can feel like, wow, this is really risky to be doing, but it's only because of those being tuned to that station, because I'm not actually seeing this as being risky. So your job here is to work with the station that you're tuned to and tune into something that feels more empowering. Tune into something that allows you to see yourself as you truly are, recognizing that you're capable and that this isn't a situation where something's going to go wrong here. But I get this feeling of like, I don't know, maybe part of your identity is about protecting things that you feel need to be protected, or it's about knowing that like if you're not there, like something bad could be happening, you know, like maybe this is just something that you've gone through things and that's kind of the way that you see it, and that you need to be there in order for that to happen. Meanwhile, I feel like your guides are saying, hey, we're giving you the green light to be going over there. We have this big arrow pointing over there. This is where we need you to go. And you can be like, but I can't leave this. Like, but it's your guides telling you this. You know that it's not going to be leading you in a wrong direction. And so this is also about trusting that part of the process as well. This wouldn't be coming up if it weren't the right move for you to be making now at this point. Like, this is all for your benefit, actually. But I think looking at this and thinking that it's risky, thinking something's going to go wrong, that you're not going to be able to do it, that like the stuff that's important to you and precious to you, it's going to like disappear, you're going to risk it all. It's like, that's actually not what's happening here. I feel again like we keep coming back to this place of you needing to work with your actual perception of what's going on here. It's not the situation. It's how you're seeing it and the station that you're tuned to, and how this is bringing some unnecessary stress to you, having you think that things are risky, dangerous, you need to be worried, you need to be concerned, when I'm not seeing that be what needs to happen here. It just feels like taking that filter off, because it's not really helping the process. So what's the actual thing that needs to be done here? You have to work this out energetically, that station that you're tuned to. And it feels like it's not easy to just grab the knob of that and shift it to a different station. There's something here that you have to work out in order to, like, you know what it's reminding me of? When places have the thermostat and they have this like case on it that's locked so you can't change the temperature. It's something like that, where you can't just automatically reach up and change the station. There's something here that you have to do in order to change the station, but then once you do that, the Nine of Swords is going to go away. You'll be tuned to a different station, and it will be one that, instead of playing like a horror movie for you, it's going to be one where you feel like there's just a more clarity in your... It's like there's not going to be that static, and there's not going to be this like spookiness that you're tuned into right now with the Nine of Swords. Because I feel like this activity is actually pretty neutral, but because of being tuned to that, it's like the difference between like two people watching the same scene, but if you have like scary music in one, there's going to be this ominous feeling, and if you have like music that feels like it's connected more with like levity, it can actually be a funny scene. And I feel like it's not the scene that changes, it's like this background music, and I'm seeing this be about the channel that you're tuned to, the station that you're tuned to. And like that's actually where the stress is coming from. That's actually where this heaviness is coming from. It's not what's going on, it's not the scene, it's the station. I'm seeing that you're working out actually a pretty big process here. This is something that takes endurance for you to do. And it's something that really does require a lot for you, but there's going to be quite a payoff here. So that'll definitely be worth it for you. All right. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.